Hey Internet, welcome back to another weekly DM Chats with me, Carolyn. I do the bi-weekly D&D 5e campaign on our channel, Tales from Cyril. And today we're going to be doing a deep dive into the monk class. So monks are your traditional, well, not traditional, they are your kung fu masters. They specialize typically, as far as like flavor text and everything, they are martial arts, so, kung fu, jiu-jitsu, capoeira, drunken master, which actually is a monastic tradition. Think of your like high class, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Asian martial art films. That is your monk. They do crazy ass martial fisty stuff, and that's pretty much what they specialize in is their fists. They throw their fists and you cannot handle them. So your monks should have they should have a high dex first and foremost, because that is what a majority of their is going to be a majority of what all of their unarmed attacks are going to be through. Traditionally, of course, unarmed attacks is strength, but with monks, they are special. They are dex, because it's all based on how fast you can pummel your opponent, not necessarily how strong you are. And also with the fact that you have a mystical power known as chi, you can channel your inner strength into your fists and make them even more powerful than they already are. Probably the best, as far as math is concerned, the best class to get that gets you bonuses off the get-go is your Wood Elf. They have a +2 to Dex and a +1 to Wiz. No other class really actually fits statistically or mathematically to get you the bonuses on Dex or Wiz off the bat like that. They're pretty much the only class I would mathematically recommend. You do have your halflings, who do come with a +2 Dex. And then, of course, humans have a +1 to pretty much anything and everything, as a starting bonus to being a human. We so good at some things, but, average at everything else. So, the big takeaway for monks across all monastic traditions are that they fast. They so fast. Starting, I do believe, at 5th level they get... So, very beginning of monks, they have access to abilities through their ki. So you can technically, at a 1st level monk, get access to, I believe, Flurry of Blows, which means that a starting monk, I believe, does up to 3 attacks within a round. I believe. It's after monk. There we are. So, sorry, 2nd level. 2nd level is when you gain access to your ki, however you want to pronounce it, and that's when you gain access to Flurry of Blows, Patient Defense, and Step of the Wind across all classes. Flurry of Blows immediately means after you take the attack action, you can spend a ki point and gain 2 extra attacks. So, that being said, once you hit 5th level, when you gain the extra attack on your attack action, a monk can then technically attack up to 4 times in a round. They get their attack, bonus attack action, and then if they want to on their bonus action, spend a key for a flurry of blows. So monks are designed to not necessarily do a lot of damage in one hit, but they are designed to do multiple hits to kind of pile on the damage. Because at starting basic level, level 1, 2, your monk is doing a d4 of damage. And then, of course, as you level, your fists become more powerful. And you gain, I think, upwards is, a max of a d8 with your unarmed strikes on the table. Oh, no. Max of d10. So that's when you hit level 17. That's when you kind of get all the good shit anyway. So, yeah. Like I said, especially when you start getting up into the higher levels, of course, when you're facing, dragons that can do, 60, 70 odd damage in one hit, you should probably be able to do more than just, 10, 12 in a round. So that's what monks are designed to do. They also have abilities that, just in general, they get faster overall. That's pretty much their build. Just monks in general. You do a lot of just fancy martial arts stuff that you would see in like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, that kind of stuff. Hero, catching missiles, deflecting blows, being able to, parry, flavor-wise, you're, parrying blows when in reality you're just statistically is having a better armor class, aka defending yourself. So, monks are pretty cool in that regard. You have 6 monastic traditions between the Player's Handbook and Xanthar's Guide, which are your Way of the Open Hand, Way of the Shadow, Way of the 4 Elements, Way of the Drunken Master, Way of the Kensai, and Way of the Sunbolt. So Way of the Open Hand is, I think it builds upon the basics of just being a monk very well, in that they are designed to impose penalties on foes, making them a great addition to a large party, especially with flanking, that kind of stuff. And they also make great additions for smaller parties as well, being able to impose penalties on opponents, especially in a smaller party size, can really change the tide of battle, especially for smaller parties. Even in larger parties, they're great. Monks are pretty good class. Can be a little OP sometimes. But like I said, they can impose penalties on foes, knocking them prone, causing them to lose their reactions, that kind of stuff. Overall, they also get to heal themselves. They gain access to, I think, at 6th level?
Certain tradition.
Is it 6th or 7th? 6th or 11th? No, it is 6th level. 6th level, you gain ability to heal yourself 3 times your monk level, I think, in a long rest. Is it long or short? I suppose it really doesn't matter, but like I said, so, long rest. So it's pretty nice. Most of the other abilities in Way of the Open Hand are like that. Improving yourself, but also being able to impose penalties on your foes. Way of the Shadow is kind of a way, it's kind of roguey, but not. You can be a scout in a way with the Way of the Shadow. The monk in our Tales from Cyril campaign is Way of the Shadow. So I'm sure you saw him using quite a number of his abilities now that he's level 8. In particular, he has access to basically shadow teleport. Anywhere there's a shadow, he can teleport there within 60 feet, as long as he can see it, which is a pretty bamf move. He also has access to spells such as Pass Without a Trace, Darkness, and Silence, as long as he uses Ki and he doesn't have to have any material components. So they are very much designed as you get higher up as the Way of the Shadow, in being a very hidden class subterfuge scouting, being unseen, and it very much lends itself. It would be a great class to probably double up with the assassin rogue class, or whatever rogue, which actually we haven't gone over rogues yet. I think there is when we get to rogues, there is a rogue subclass, I think the assassin, which would be a really good one to pair with for the shadow, because I think assassins, if they're unseen or have like the first on the attack, it's an automatic crit or something like that. Maybe, I haven't read it into it, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works. So there, with this one, it's really great. You could definitely multi-class with rogue, and it would probably work really, really well since they're both dex-based classes. Way of the Four Elements is an interesting monk class. It attempts to... It lends itself almost to the way of if like you wanted to specialize and say you were a monk and aka a firebender, a la the way of Avatar: The Last Airbender. So you could definitely play it up that way, because basically as the Way of the Four Elements, it basically gives you access to using spells through your ki. So you can gain access to like Burning Hands, you gain access to Water Whip, yes, Eternal Mountain Defense, aka cast Stone Skin on yourself. So it gives you access to a lot of the elemental spells that sorcerers have access to, but it allows you to kind of really play with your character as far as flavor-wise is concerned, and I'm sure your DM would allow you to kind of fiddle around with these a little bit if you wanted to kind of maybe specialize in one element over the other, because there are tons of spells in the spell book that you can play around with. But that's pretty much the long and short of the Way of the Four Elements, is that you gain access to certain abilities as you level up using your ki. Some of the more powerful ones require to use more ki, ergo you have to wait until you get to be more powerful and have more ki to use them. Next, we're moving into the 3 traditions in Xanthar's Guide. So Way of the Drunken Master, I'm sure everyone has probably heard of or at least seen the Jackie Chan movies with the Drunken Master, which are great movies, by the way, if you've never watched them. Hilarious. Also, Jackie Chan is amazing. But that particular fighting style, as far as flavor and like visually, if you have something to kind of go off of, those particular movies are great to harken back on for this particular tradition. You gain the abilities. You gain a few additional abilities to make you harder to hit, because the Way of the Drunken Master is described as someone who's being very illogical in their fighting style. You do things that are unexpected. You move in certain ways that don't make sense. So you can kind of surprise your enemies into doing things, and you get the kind of the advantage, if you will, to pop off something that normally maybe you wouldn't get to. So it's an interesting fighting style. If you want to go back and look at see that particular fighting style, Zeke in our River of Turisail, there we go, the campaign we just finished it's been about a month ago. He was a Way of the Drunken Master monk. He did more drinking than fighting sometimes. The second one in Xanthar's Guide is Way of the Kensai. This one is an interesting one. I feel like if you've watched some of the Asian fighting films, you've seen them use a lot of like the pole arms and the blades that kind of wiggle. I don't really know how else to describe them, but they are seen as extensions of the body and a art in and of themselves as far as wielding them. And that's what the Way of the Kensai is you forego doing a unarmed strike in favor of replacing your unarmed strike with a weapon you are specifically specialized in, melee and ranged, that you have basically devoted your time to learning the ins and outs of. and you can also channel your chi into that weapon to make it more efficient and more powerful. Overall, as you move through that subclass, you actually, rather than using the weapon's stats, if you will, you use your unarmed strike, your unarmed, in the player's handbook, the unarmed stats, if you will, like, I don't know the word. So you gain you go up from a D4 to a D6 to a D8 to a D10 as you move through it. And you also gain the ability to, I think, up to 5 different weapons you can claim as a specialized Kensei weapon that you can choose to wield at any time. And it becomes an extension of your body. So you do gain access to, like I said, use your ki to improve your weapons, making them do more damage, or just, improve your weapons proficiency, giving them better damage overall. So that's pretty much what that one is. It's very much focused on the martial weapon aspect of the martial arts. The Way of the Sunbolt is fun. You become a DBZ character. There's literally no way around it. You have powerful hands, and you deal radiant damage as you fling energy balls from your fists, a la DBZ. That's it. That's all there is. And at level 17, you go Super Saiyan. I shit you not. You exude light up in, I think, like a 30-foot radius, and you have radiant energy flowing through your body, and I'm like, they've gone Super Saiyan. They have reached the pinnacle of absolute awesomeness. It's over 9,000. I have done so many references in this video today. But yeah, that's all I could think about when reading it, is you are a DBZ character. There's one where you can summon a massive ball that explodes, so it's literally the sun, soul bomb that Goku does, that he throws at Cell, and throwing sun bolts out your fists. It's literally DBZ where they're flinging energy blasts at each other. I don't know what else to tell you. If you want to be a Super Saiyan, be a Way of the Sunbolt. That's all there is to it. And normally in a lot of these videos, I do kind of go over what I thought of the classes and the subclasses. I actually think Monk is very interestingly varied, and I don't think any of the classes really let themselves down. I really think that if I wanted to play a monk, there's a lot of variation that I think lends to different types of characters. As a player, I would be interested in playing all 6 of them if I had a choice. And I don't know what I would choose first, to be honest. Actually, I do. It would probably be either Way of the Four Elements or Sunbolt, because DBZ characters. So yeah, I think that the monk is a really interesting class. It can be, for DMs in particular, monks are interesting to handle in combat because they can be very, very varied. And they do have a lot of abilities that make them very keen for combat, and if you have someone who knows how to build a character, they can be very deadly in combat. So I would watch your players. Just be cognizant of the fact that monks can be very, very powerful. So like I said, sometimes they can be a little OP. So just watch yourself. Watch them. Not saying that they'll cheat, but just be cognizant of the fact that if you are planning a big fight, monks can be a big gun. And if they roll it right, they can change the tide of battle like that. It's impressive. So, a great class overall. I think they lend themselves to a variety of, like I said, variety of different play styles, a variety of different players, a variety of different back styles and character archetypes that you can dig around and play with. And of course, in anything with D&D, you can explore and have whatever you want. You can have your tiefling monk, your dragonborn monk, your half-orc monk, your whatever monk, regardless of the math behind it, which is something I love about D&D 5e, is that you don't have to go with the math. You can make so much, well, D&D in general, tabletops game in general, do whatever you want. That's what's great about it. That's why we do it. But yeah, that's pretty much my review, my deep dive into the monk class. Pretty quick, pretty straightforward. 10 out of 11, 11 out of 10. There we go. Would play. Pew pew. So I think that's it. Damn, I'm good at these. 30 minutes. All right. So yeah, I don't think chat's looking kind of slow. So I'm gonna guess there's probably no questions. And with that, we'll go ahead and go into the schedule. So we have got nothing this weekend. Whatever. It happens. But I promise it's worth the wait. We've got something really good in store as far as a 2B campaign. Once Andy's worked out the kinks, I think you guys are gonna love it. I'm excited. So yeah, but nothing this week. Of course, on Monday we have our video game and chill stream with Susie. Are we doing Stardew Valley again?
We'll find out.
We don't know yet. To be determined. And then, of course, next Wednesday we have our DM chat here, 7 p.m. with Andy. To be determined.
Talk about one-shots and running them.
Talking about one-shots and running them. So that's what we're doing next week. And then the Wednesday, not the 10th, but the 17th. Saturday the 17th. Fuck me. Of course, Tales from Serial picks up at 1:30. So that's in the future. Looking forward to it. See you guys on the internet, folks.